Hey everybody, just a quick message from Bald and Bonkers Network. We would like to remind everybody that certain topics of discussion may not be comfortable for all listeners. Certain viewpoints may not reflect those of our partners, sponsors, affiliates, our hosts, or that of our guests. We would like to encourage everybody to keep a respectful and open climate of discussion for all topics, no matter how disturbing they may be. So viewer discretion is advised.
Discoveries mankind has ever experienced.
And that is why we bring you the Bald and Bonkers Show.
Baby, you can get on my boat and make it rock, yeah.
See,
what
ladies and gentlemen, he tried to remove me during the live, but you know something?
Damn.
You know something? I can reach my new computer table now. How is everybody tonight? Everybody in the chat, Drew's Paranormal Blog, Sherry's Spiritual Investigators, everybody that's watching on, everywhere, all the locations throughout the internet, welcome. We did have a guest tonight, guys, but sadly he has the flu. So you can come back sometime, but we're just going to talk about wild stuff that's happening right now. How are you, Dakota? How's things with you?
I don't know, Chris. How are you? By the way, is the appointment still set up for your sex change tomorrow?
See, I was going to do that to you. I was going to say that, ladies and gentlemen, that we were going to be doing like a GoFundMe for Dakota to go get a sex change, but you know, and then he stole it.
Just look at my sisters. I'd be a very ugly woman.
Look, there's a Facebook user, right? Facebook user. What is that link that you brought up so as people don't do that, Matt? Facebook users thing. I did it the other night.
It's included with all the Facebook videos. Basically, for some reason, streaming platforms like StreamYard, Melon, I think Restream does it as well. If you go to talk to us through Facebook, it doesn't show us your name, or sometimes doesn't even show you at all. So if you message us through Facebook and you think we're ignoring you, that's not always the case.
For Facebook users, that must be the maddest introduction to anything I have ever seen. Well, do you know something? Do you know something? As a mad show, we're absolutely raving lunatics. You know, just look at Dakota here. You know, it would drive MD insane. You know, so what? You know. Anyway,
you're not wrong.
Right?
You're not wrong.
We're going to do an open panel tonight and inviting people on, but everybody's busy. So we're just going to talk about strange things from around the world, especially Dakota here going for a hair transplant tomorrow. So, curiosity, where did they get the hair transplant from? Is it like genetically grown in like a strange lab somewhere? You know, is it like long and blonde? You've got to come on and looks like somebody off it. What's that song, The Final Countdown? Like one of the rock stars, they have the hair down to your knees and stuff like that.
Oh God.
Just ignore me, ladies and gentlemen. It's what happens, you know, when we've not got a guest, we've got to kind of.
Oh, I found out who Facebook user is.
Who is that?
Well, he's genetically similar to you, so he's quite ugly.
What do you mean? I'm a handsome fellow. For the listeners in the podcast out there, I'm like a Sean Connery lookalike. See, honestly, obviously, if you're not wearing glasses and in the dark, I
What
look like
kind
him.
of funhouse mirror liquor store are you going to? Now, yeah,
So-
apparently that's your brother.
Oh, is that who it is? My God, he's found Facebook. He's found Facebook. Well, yes, that's my brother, Drew. Hello, Drew.
I fucking
wonder-
find it funny you froze right there in your face. I was just like, oh.
Well, as he says, that is a mad trailer that we've got with the two-headed sea lion or whatever it is coming out the water, you know. And Dakota's getting attacked, everybody, by a fly. If you see him waving his hands about, you know.
It's pissing me off. I'm about to start shooting the damn thing.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens. Hey, have you seen, right? Let's talk about something quite interesting here. Has anybody in the chat seen all the UFO reports coming out of none other than Ukraine?
There's a lot of discussion about that right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's I don't know if that's what's worrying Mr. President, whatever his name is, the Russian. I'm not saying his name because this is obviously, you know, you can't what it's like.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on over there now because it's totally seemingly the UFO reports are out of the ordinary. Yes, the US government and the British government are probably got like secret weapons, drones, lots of drones that they're giving them, but there's still something more. Which I'm just reading the chat here. Mittens! I've not seen mittens in a long time. There's somebody in the chat called Mittens. Yeah. My goodness.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The excuses that a lot of skeptics are putting out are it's pretty much the same lines that you would have heard during the Second World War when the exact same things were happening.
Yep.
Weird shit flying in the sky and nobody knows who they belong to.
But see, here's the thing, and it's quite. I've been listening to that Phil Mantle. Phil Mantle gave me one of his books, an audio form, and there's UFO reports from the 19th century, from the 1890s, right? A strange craft landing in a field and then taking off like a rocket, right? I mean, in the 1890s, there was no aircraft, was there? There was nothing like that. There might have been some balloons, right? But I know the Chinese dabbled in fireworks and stuff like that. But this is going back to like the English countryside in like 1892 or something like that. And it's quite interesting because I was actually watching TikTok the other night there, and this guy, when I think he's from the UFO project, you know, the one where who's the guy? Is a big aerospace engineer? They make is into the UFO stuff. Oh, what's his name?
Which one?
It's the one that's. But is it Bigelow? He worked for Bigelow. I think he worked for Bigelow.
Yes.
I think he worked for Bigelow. He doesn't anymore. And they were going on about how the US government had got a hold of materials from an unknown location. And when they asked where did these materials come from, they were like, "Oh, we cannot tell you. They just came from an unknown location." And this is material like steel. It's as strong as steel, but as light as tissue paper. Yeah. And when you crumple it up into a ball, right, you sit it down, it pop back into shape again with not a mark on it. And they were going on about how they could actually make like parts for aircraft out of this stuff, and it was basically indestructible. Yes, it would break where you joined it together, but as a sheet itself, it would not break. Have you ever heard of that, Dakota? The strange things that's going about it's all over the internet now about all that kind of crazy stuff.
Well, a lot more attention is being brought to the UFO subject, and thankfully, a lot more people are starting to realize, wait a sec, what they're trying to brush all this off on isn't adding up. Now, you can argue that this is a lot of people who actually don't know how this shit works, trying to sounded funny, but that material, if I'm not mistaken, actually is said to have come from the craft that went down at Roswell.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Mm-hmm.
And a few years before, the Germans had something very similar crash in the Black Forest.
Yep. And a lot of people don't know this, but where the Roswell crash was, I think it was in the 1886? I think it was 1886. There was like a UFO reported crash that came down in a light, and they went out to the scene, and there was wreckage everywhere, and it all disappeared. I think for a long time, our governments of the world have known about these things, and they've been trying to cover them up for a long time, even before they had flight themselves. And I'm going back maybe 300-400 years. Do you know that? And they've just been covering it up because they don't want. Can you imagine? Let's go at the kind of religious view here. Can you imagine? To us that believe in UFOs and aliens and stuff, it's not going to really do us any harm if we wake up one morning and say, "Oh, look, they're here, they're real," right? But to the religious people that believe that the earth was created in the Bible, right? Or I think it'll do them damage. I think they'll be like, "Oh my God."
That is the genuine fear.
Yeah. It'll
That
be
is the genuine
that book's
fear.
wrong.
It's not that necessarily the book is wrong. It's just that, for lack of a better word here, it's the religious addiction.
Yeah.
The second you go to start discussing, and it's why anything religious based always comes up with some sort of fear. There's been people that try to say, "Oh, you shouldn't talk about this. You shouldn't talk about this." It's like, you know what? Shut the fuck up. It's not until you stop worrying about how you're going to offend and actually come into this trying to understand what's going on instead of just assuming that you think you know everything. Because one thing I would always say, and it's something I would use to piss off an ex-girlfriend, if you think you go in the world saying you think you know everything, you're ignorant as fuck.
Look, I mean, I'll admit that I've had the religious types messaging me. I've had the messages on here. Oh, you're going to burn in hell because you believe in demons that come from spaceships. The spaceships, the aliens, they're no aliens, they're demons for the underworld, and they're coming to get you and all that kind of stuff. Send your soul to Jesus and stuff like that. I mean, honestly.
Okay, first off, all right. Religious types, I'm just going to say this. Actually, sit the fuck down and read your goddamn Bible. Because if you actually paid attention and read through everything instead of what the pastors twisted in their sermons, and this has been happening for centuries. I'm saying it. I'm fucking saying it. The Bible itself preaches against assholes who follow the church, who don't actually pay attention. And it says, I believe it's in Deuteronomy, that everybody who follows the church, because it's filled so full of lies, you're the one that's got something big coming for you. And if you actually follow old scriptures that have been uncovered, say like Dead Sea Scrolls, Jesus talked about starseeds.
Yeah.
He was himself one. He knew that in situations like we're in now, we're coming.
I mean, it's like in the Bible goes, and I'm not taking this out in the Bible or anything like that, but it's like when Jesus was born, there was the North Star shining, right? And then the three angels appeared before these men, the three kings, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was if the three angels weren't the three angels? What was if there were extraterrestrials that appeared before them in their ships? And because they didn't know what technology was, they just presumed that they were angels.
Our friend of ours, Elena Denon, she actually just put out a book not too long ago.
Yes.
It's called Cedars, The Coming of the Old Gods, something along those lines. Honestly, be prepared. It is her biggest book yet.
Yeah.
It's like I'm only about a quarter of the way through it. She identifies even more. Last time she was on the show, she mentioned that she was identifying even more species that she hadn't before.
Yeah. I'm waiting.
There are winged humanoids.
That's right. There is. I mean, I'm waiting. I could get the audio version of the new the Kindle version at the new, but I'm waiting for the paperback to come out on what do you call
Paperback's
it?
out.
On I know what on Amazon Prime.
It's out.
It's no in Prime now because I tried it the other night.
Well,
I
maybe
tried to
not in
get
the
it.
UK, but in the
It's
US.
not in the UK. But I
Which
don't think
is
they'll be able to
ironic
deliver
because
it.
which is kind of weird when you think about it, because she lives in Ireland.
Yeah.
You know, she even mentioned that everybody else is getting her book except her.
I know. Do you not get a signed copy?
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
Yeah. Because she did get a book sent to you the other day.
Yes.
Where is it? Show it to everybody.
Compendium. I'm getting it out right now. Hold on.
So take his time here.
No, I'm trying to grab it with my foot.
Mm.
Yeah, Greg Campbell Basso, he's going to be on 15th to help promote his new book. You can pre-order it now to get it by October 1st, but because he likes us and wants to promote it, he was nice enough to help send me a free copy.
Did he sign it?
No.
Come on, Craig. Can you send me one, Craig, if you're watching this, and sign it for me?
Speaking of which, we should turn that into a brand new segment of the show where, if they're out of the UK, they send books to you. If they're in the US, they send it to me. And we just review it for them.
Well, it started happening now. I mean, I've had a couple sent to me, which I've started to listen to. I like the audiobook versions, but when it comes to Elena's book, I like the paperback versions. It's something.
I wish I had her fucking skill when it came to artwork, man.
Well, you never know. So, what have we got lined up for next week? Why don't we tell ladies and gentlemen that we will not be here on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
Well, Sherry's taking time off due to personal reasons, and to which I will just say this: I know she asked us to not really go into detail, but our hearts do go out to you, Sherry. Like we said, we understand. We've been there. Saturday and Sunday, we're taking a brief break from the show so we can get all of the very exciting projects up and running we have for October to help celebrate our 1-year anniversary.
Wow. I would just like to say something new. I know I'm interrupting, but I went wow there because I don't know if MD in the chat can see it, but we've got 634 people watching all over the different networks. So we've got Facebook, we've got YouTube, we've got Twitch.
Well, like I said, now let's be realistic here, Chris. Let's be real.
Yeah.
We have DLive, we have Trovo, which the statistics don't come through. And so if you're watching us through there and you think we're ignoring you, I'm sorry, but we try to get to everybody as much as we can. But Twitter, it streams us out to there, going through the back door of a feature that Twitter allegedly took down. So it doesn't give us the numbers there. Because of how far spread out it is and how it all works, it's hard to tell, but nevertheless, I'm shocked we got this far.
You're right. But when you go, keep telling us what you're telling us about next week before I rudely interrupted you. But when you go,
no, I pretty much got to it. It's just that we're trying to get basically take some time because we've been pounding this out constantly. Because unfortunately, that's what it takes in order to go on for social media. At least minimum twice a week, if not every day. You got to put something out in order to keep going. I was about to say, thank God that number dropped because we were about 4 away from getting real concerned.
but let's tell everybody what shows are planned for not this week coming, but the week after. What have we got planned?
Well,
because we're actually live on the Monday, aren't we, with Christine Gomez?
Yes, our dear friend Christine Gomez is going to be coming on live with us for a special episode because she has actually offered her help and clips from her shows to put together for the documentary we're going to get going. Towards the end of that episode, we're going to have a special premiere of a new trailer that will hopefully appeal to some of my Hollywood connections a little bit more. Because William Shatner's in that bunch. And God damn it, I would love to get Captain Kirk on a UFO
Oh God,
show.
Jesus! I'd come on, man. I'd be on here with my Star Trek uniform on, Scotty.
Oh, we already know why you want that nickname to come out there.
Well,
Scotty.
you know, well, you can't help the Scottish accent.
Yeah, she's an educated woman. And, I can back you on that one. Go for that one. I didn't realize she was as old as she was.
But ask who the special guest is, everybody, that we have got planned.
Christopher and I will be entering a special secret meeting with none other than David Icke. And you'll be able to see that episode coming on October 16th, just in time for our 1-year anniversary.
Nice.
No, we didn't do that on purpose. That happened. That was just a happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say.
Yeah. But we've also got loads of amazing people in October. I mean, we've got Lisa Fry and our friend Pet Medium coming back on.
Oh yeah,
we've actually got quite a few.
Definitely use her advice because like some of my cats are being fucking assholes right now.
I do think you are kind of like the crazy cat guy because you've got that many cats.
At least 3 of them are my mother. Only one of them's mine.
I bet you've got loads. Cats.
There's only 4.
Yeah, this time next year,
there's only 4
cats. I'm telling you,
dude,
they multiply. They're like
that's well, no, the boy cats are fixed, and we're trying to get the girls in, but unfortunately, no vets are taking new patients right now.
Well,
seriously, they're recommending I'd have to drive like 2 hours away in order to get the girls fixed.
No. So, what else is happening in the documentary frontier? Because we had quite a lot of people interested in.
Oh my God!
Didn't we?
250 auditions just for the pitch trailer. 250 just for a pitch trailer that would only be maybe a few minutes long. Everybody only had like 1, maybe 3 lines to read. That's it.
Yeah.
Just because I said it was a pitch trailer, it was going to go live. Everybody who got picked would be listed on the IMDb page for that episode. So it'll help get their name out there. That's why I said we need to go with backstage for their casting projects because they pull through. They pull through. In fact, they're one of the biggest casting companies out there. A lot of people got their start. A lot of big ones like Sandra Bullock, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson. They all got their start through that very company. So
there you go, ladies and gentlemen. One day, Dakota will be a famous movie star or documentary guy, and I'll be stuck here.
We get fucking Captain Kirk. That would be awesome.
Well, Captain Kirk, but he's getting older and older. The time we'll get him on. We'll have to wheel him in a wheelchair or something like that because he'll be 120.
The man gets around pretty good for his age. I'll be honest with you. Hey, you forget I'm actually got a movie with him in the progress right now.
That's right. I mean, just think of the ladies in the chat there. The ladies in the chat, would you like to see Captain Kirk on the show?
I've been working on it. Trust me. I've been working on it. It's just getting that man's schedule freed up. There's a few.
I know.
There's a few people that that are on both Chris and I's wish lists for guests that said they'd be willing to come up. It's just that they don't have any fucking time.
I was quite happy when I got to meet Dave Schrader. That was more than enough. I knew I'm friends with him. I talked to him quite a lot, and
I was literally dancing in the fucking supermarket I work at when I found out we got Barry.
That's right. But amazing guests that are going to be coming on this show, and especially the Christmas show we've got planned. I mean, we've got who's on that night? Me, you, Lex Paranormal, Brian for Homophobia. We've got Lisa Fry, and then for the big one, we've got Dave Schrader. What is it?
A couple things. First off, I'm just kind of eyeballing the chat. First off, Andrina, you got to remember, okay, in my defense, certain things are spelled differently between the U.S. and the U.K. For some reason, we like to swap A's and E's. So last minute, Miller spelled like Miller. That's common American spelling, so that's what happened there. Okay, it's been fixed. It still shows some of the mess ups, but that's just nature of the beast. That's on Amazon's side. That's in my defense. Secondly, I mentioned this before we went live. I found it kind of funny. I was going through on Twitter, doing my usual. That everybody that Lex was calling out as fake yesterday. If you go to follow Brian on Huntophobia, that's who gets recommended.
Well,
It's like, is Twitter trying to insinuate something here?
Don't worry, Brian. Don't worry. He's probably sitting. He's probably sitting in the chat. The news like, "Where's my voodoo doll?"
I was like, he should be doing Through the Lens with Lex right now.
I think he is. I think he is. Yeah, I was in there before we came live, and I think he was talking about him wearing his tights again in the Sherwood Forest.
Oh God! I don't know. Finding out that man used to be a hairdresser all of a sudden makes sense.
I know. Brian, for Huntophobia, ladies and gentlemen, I can't get over this, was a hairstylist.
Well, haven't you ever noticed that a lot of the famous, male hairstylists, the ones that are often considered the best in the field, are fucking bald?
I have noticed that. I'd just like to welcome into the room Ken Allen there. Welcome, my friend. But honestly, what is it? What is it with people in the paranormal? And I've noticed this. I don't know if anybody else has. Anybody that does the UFO work or ghost hunting stuff, 90% of them are bald.
Well,
is it
hair falling out is a symptom of radiation exposure.
Aye, but what's it now? Right? Say you don't get the UFOs, it's just ghost stuff you do.
Well, oh God, this reminds me of a TikTok I saw from Aaron from Ghost Adventures. He's on there. Well, no, just listen to this. And I thought it was funny because I got to thinking about it right around the time I started in this ghost hunting, before cryptids and UFOs got as serious as they've been getting lately. Right around the time I started ghost hunting was around the same time I was starting to go bald. And Aaron Goodwin's girl, he's like, I now know why, your hair doesn't grow back. And he was like, why? It's like, because you've been ghost hunting for all these years, your hair got scared off. I was like, fucking sick. Then I got to thinking about it. I'm going on about 12 years. I started investigating when I was about 14. I was always overgrown, so nobody knew until a local radio DJ outed me that I was still in school. But right about that time was when I started having to shave my head because I was going gray at 14. Cue the violence.
Can I just have a thought? Can I post my link in the chat for, let me think, ladies and gentlemen, I have a new ghost hunting team channel. I just realised about that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. And you've been pestering me about getting a fucking logo design and finally did it. So you shut the fuck up. I'm just kidding.
Terrible. It's terrible. See, this is what my co-host is like, ladies and gentlemen. Could you all give that a subscribe, guys? It's the new channel.
Actually, I will say this. Well, we were thinking about doing a Ghost Squad Scotland takeover for this next coming weekend, right?
Yes.
Like you premiered that on the channel so that way you can get a little bit more people. But then again, you're already on the TV network, so.
That's right. Well, I'm on the TV network anyway. And there will be a lot more videos coming, guys. Yes, there's videos on it now. The one that I did today was quite an interesting video because it was at a place called Glenbuck. And me and my friend Alan, we get absolutely soaked in the heavy rain. But it's a very interesting, and if you like the sticker, guys, if you like the sticker, that was Dakota that made that.
So never did answer me. Are you wanting merch in the store?
Yes, I did. I sent you a message. See, I need to check your messages. Hi.
Well, it's
Huh?
hard to check your messages without having to listen to your. I'm just kidding.
That's terrible. See, ladies and gentlemen, these young people nowadays, young people, and you've got to remember it will soon be the clocks will be going back again. I think it's next. Is it next month, guys? In the
Oh
UK, the clocks go
God.
back.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
You know.
Yes, everything with all major clocks being digital and connected to the internet, and a lot of them
Yeah.
have the setting already in there. Oh God. The reason for the frustration is because anytime we try to schedule something for the show and daylight saving kicks in, being that there's like a 2-week difference between the US and the UK, I just looked it up. Ours, it goes back on November 6th. Thank God it's actually going away here soon. There's always a 2-week period where everybody's thrown out because nobody remembers fucking daylight savings between the two countries.
I have got a question for you, Dakota. What are we doing for Halloween?
We haven't really done much thought of that. I was thinking about getting the Trump wig.
I was actually going to buy one of them too. We could be twins, Trump. You know. What do you think, guys? Would you dress up as Trump? I was just going to get a Trump wig, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. But what else is happening in the world anyway? What strange and unusual things are happening right now?
It's kind of hard to keep track.
I know.
I mean,
the world's going into madness.
Yeah. If you think the world's gone crazy before, guess what?
The world is going crazy. I mean, we're on the brink of World War III. Yeah, I mean, we're on the brink of everything else, but hopefully it will happen.
I don't know if you noticed this, Chris, but haven't you ever noticed that anytime there's like global events going on where obviously there's going to be a lot of chaos,
yeah,
all of a sudden it seems like there's some sort of disturbance in the force that causes all sorts of weird shit to happen in everybody's personal lives too, about the same time?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like
I
just found out one of my sisters just got diagnosed with fucking E. coli. So,
oh good God, how do you get E. coli? How do you actually get that?
Eating undercooked meat. You can get it through water exposure. So, and people she's been staying with, there have been some pipeline work going on, and they always fuck it up and have to put out, oil orders anytime they do that. But little shit is getting all concerned because her father was recently diagnosed with, let's see, what was it? Stage 4 kidney disease. And we had to sit her down. It's like, you do realize whatever you're doing right now will fuck up your kidneys too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd just like to say to Sherry, that's a good idea. You could make 2 resin skulls and give away. Guys, could you actually check out Sherry's shop where she does resin stuff? I think you'd really like it. Sherry, drop your link. And there.
She's giving away head. She's giving away head.
Don't get her started. You came what's going to happen. She's going to put hex on you or something like that. You're going to wake up and there's going to be this giant creature above you, coming for you.
You're going to get me in trouble with my man. It's like, your man doesn't exactly seem very tough.
Oh, you better watch. That's it, Sherry. That's it, Sherry. But it's. I mean, I just don't know. I honestly don't know what's going to happen with the world, the way things are happening right now. But have you seen?
What you think is that it's even crazier? Lex and Brian, they were talking about social media outlets acting all crazy the last few days. Lena's book, and I've noticed the patterns too. Some of that may actually be ET influence.
Yeah.
That's how crazy this shit's been getting. Is that we can't even rule out aliens' involvement.
I've just got a thing popped up on my computer.
That's the jars.
I've got something popped up on my computer for me to update it, but they can style it that, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been
It's
getting
new
those
Windows
too.
update or something, you know.
Oh,
but
lovely.
I know. It's only taking like 3 days to download.
Yeah, Mr. Fiber Optic Connection.
It started off at like 100 meg per second, and then it went to like 80 meg per second, and then it went to like 40 meg per second, and now it's only like 36. You know?
Too much porn, man. Too much porn.
Well, but that's what you've been doing. See some of the messages that I get for Dakota. Sometimes he wakes up through the night and messages the wrong person.
That only happened once.
So, guys in the chat, would you like to ask? I'm going to give the chat an opportunity here. Guys in the chat, would you like to ask Dakota any question whatsoever? And they'll answer
Oh
it.
dear Lord!
Here's your chance, here, guys. What's that? PSW? What's that? PIW spiritual
Share.
investigators.
I'm just gonna say this. Share's basically saying, "Don't worry. It's teasing's all out of love. And that's what it is."
Yeah.
For those of you, the newbies that may get freaking out, but if you follow the show for a while, we live up to the name Bald and Bonkers. That's all we got to say.
So here's your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. You can ask any question you want within reason. Did Dakota and he'll answer it. You know, you don't know. There might be some beautiful women out there. Any women in your 90s looking for a young man, single. You know, we could get you married off.
I could use a sugar mama right about now.
Aye, there you go. Here you go. See, this is the thing. You know.
No, I'm preferably not trying to date anybody older than my own mother. That would just be weird.
Oh, I don't know. But here's a question for you. While people think of questions in the chat, what do you think of Elon Musk's new robot?
I get his concept behind it.
Yeah.
And speaking from a tech nerd perspective, it's awesome. But this is also the same man who's highly warning that we better be careful when it comes to our
That's
AI.
what I kind of get. That's what I kind of get, right? He goes on to YouTube stations and podcasts all over the world and that, and he says, "Oh, don't dabble in the artificial intelligence. Don't do that. Don't go near it." And then the next minute, he's making it and selling it.
Yeah, allegedly, we'll just put that keyword there. Well, you got to remember, ladies and gents, Elon Musk is on the spectrum. He is, if I remember correctly, he does actually have an Asperger's diagnosis, which actually fucking explains a lot. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. For anybody who tries to say that autism is such a disability, why is it that every single genius that has ever lived, and to this day, has at least been speculated of having some form of autism in their lifetime? I will say that right now. Think about it. Now, with Elon, allegedly he has ET help. So maybe he's got it figured out to where his AI programs, whatever they got going on, they'll have the patience to not get fed up with asshole humans. Because if you look at just like AI, I mean, honestly, if you look at a lot of the reports coming out about how people are treating just these AI chatbots you can get on your phone, we honestly have an ass whooping coming. I mean, there's been people that, since Chris is blowing right now, there's been people apparently making a game out of sending abusive messages to these AI bots just to see what kind of reactions they would get. That's setting up some very dangerous precedents. Now, don't get me wrong. Elon is a nice guy. Horny as fuck. How many kids does that man have now?
I think has he not got 5 or 6? Has he not got 5 or 6 kids?
He's got into double digits for his number of kids he's got. At least he's got the fucking money for it.
Aye, but what's it worth? Like 500 trillion or something stupid like that? Something
I don't think
600
anybody.
trillion.
I don't know. Let's look it up real quick. I don't think anybody's officially gotten into the trillion marker
Aye,
yet.
there is a few in the trillions. There is. I think Bill Gates was in the trillions.
Not quite. Maybe if you adjust it for inflation today, but
Uh,
yeah, Elon Musk current net worth is 213.9 billion. If you're talking
That's not so
about
much.
trillions, that's you're talking wealthiest families, and chances are they're in Saudi Arabia right now.
Well, just think he put it in this. He'll be able to afford his electricity this year in the UK. You know. But 200 and something trillion. Can you imagine what would happen if we take everybody out of that chat and gave them £1 million each? Can you imagine?
A lot. It would be
It'd be an
chaos.
experiment. It would not be an experiment.
It would be chaos.
How? I think it'd be awesome to see how they cope with it.
To put it, Steve Harvey, there's a video floating around of him that says it best. You know, he makes a comment about how people say money changes people. No, it don't. No, it don't. Money makes it to where you're able to do whatever you always wanted to do.
Oh yeah. I mean,
It brings out true colors.
Yeah, I was watching. Do you ever watch that guy? He's on YouTube and he's also, I can't mind his name. He buys ridiculous things. He goes into like a store and he'll buy the entire
Logan
store.
Paul.
No.
Logan Paul, Mr.
It's Mr. I can't mind what.
That weirdo.
He went into a restaurant. It was the most expensive restaurant in the world. A pizza. How much for a pizza?
Few thousand, if I remember correctly.
$70,000. And the guy came out with the cheese.
Pizza, that'd be fucking good.
Aye, just wait to hear this. And they opened 4 tins of beluga caviar. Each tin was $16,000 or something, and spread it all over the top of it. I think that's a bit excessive. I mean, then they get the steaks and they cover them in gold plate. Ken, how you get the gold leaf? I didn't know this. I didn't ken you could ingest gold leaf, but there you go. You learn something new every day. They cover it in gold leaf, and then eat that. And
the weird thing is, you know, I always find it funny because, you know, they say there's these ancient tribes. It's like, say, it's associated with like El Dorado, that ancient tribes believed that gold had medicinal properties and they would physically eat the stuff to try to clear their body of any illness that they may have had.
That was the.
I find it kind of funny, but you also got to remember, ladies and gents, this is not just some synthetic shiny glitter that they're putting on. It's real gold.
Yeah, but you've got to remember, if you believe the ancient texts about the Anunnaki, how they got the humans to mine the gold, and they take it back to their home world and spread it in their atmosphere to keep them young.
There's certain properties about the gold that actually help stabilize the atmosphere.
There you go. I mean, they're doing it now. They're doing it here now, but they're not using gold. They're using aluminum and stuff like that.
Yeah, that might cause some problems down the road.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, aluminum can do it, but there is also the issue of the physical side effects that come with it being in the air. And it's already been found that plastics and traces of aluminum have been found in the human bloodstream.
It's not just that. In the bloodstream, because in fish that have come out, like the Mariana Trench, have been cut open, and inside them's microplastics. And then humans are eating that, and then it's going into your blood. Plastic, if you drink I'm just saying this, if you use a plastic bottle to drink out all the time, it can give you cancer. If it's it's meant to be a special type of plastic, it doesn't do it. But I don't know how the world's going to cope in the next 10 years, because the plastic in the sea is ridiculous.
You know, you find it funny. there's quite a few people have made a point. If you have an you want to know what they say one of the quickest ways to get a target painted on your back is?
What? Invent something that'll help the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
But
like,
there is. But when
I
you
was
go,
about. No, I'm just gonna give an example, and this happened. This is a true story. Someone, when I was about 9-10 years old, there was an article that came out that somebody discovered a form of bacteria that completely reverses tooth
that's
decay.
I was
They
going
would
to say something.
just put it in your mouth once, never had to worry about brushing your teeth again, basically. Where's that?
Well, it's gone because the companies that make the toothpaste wouldn't be very happy, because then they wouldn't be selling the toothpaste. It's like I was going to say about the plastic. There was a university that invented a bacteria that eats plastic. Did you see that?
There was a it was naturally formed.
Yeah.
That was a completely natural thing. They may have modified it to where it could eat a lot more.
Yeah.
They did
But
that.
but
They
where's
also,
that?
yeah, where's that? I mean, just think about it. They were trying to put all these microbots into the human body, which in concept wouldn't be
Yeah, it's
necessarily a
good
bad
idea.
idea. It's supposed to help fight cancer, do surgeries from within without having to physically cut somebody open.
Yeah.
A lot of benefits could keyword come from stuff like that.
Yeah.
And instead of why not make it to where you can find a way to make it to where the body doesn't reject those and tend it to the bloodstream to clear out potential heart clogs.
Look at all the people that have disappeared or died strangely. It's invented stuff. Look at the man that invented the car that could run in water.
Unfortunately,
And
there's a bit of an update to that story.
Is there? Because I know how it's people will be like, run a car in water. It's put electric current through it. It makes hydrogen. That's how you get.
Oh yeah,
When you go,
there was a gentleman on TikTok that was showing tutorials on how to build it, and all he had were like a couple old soda bottles, water, some salts. Basically, the hydrogen. What it would do, it would actually make the car run a lot cleaner. His mileage would go up. Everything would just run a lot cleaner. The person that originally came up with that design, he got poisoned. He had people following him about. Ironically, one of the mass shootings, there was a gentleman on TikTok who was showing that tutorial. One of the mass shootings that took place in New York, he was there.
yeah.
I find it funny that I just felt the stillness happen in the air, hit the air as I said that.
It's not just
felt
that.
creepy.
It's not just that. It's like the guy that invented the levitation device with the liquid mercury.
Mm-hmm.
He just disappeared one day. Poof.
Like he
Never
just
to be seen
disappeared.
again.
And when he tried to tried to apply for the patent, because this is something that we, little side note, we should go do an episode one day where we look up weird patents all around the world. Hey, focus, damn you! Thank you. We look up weird patents for like all these spaceships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We talk about it because not a lot of people realize this about the patent process. You have to have a working model.
Yes.
So
Hey,
when he
Smith
went in
family.
to take that power generator to get a patent on it, the thing that they told him was that, you can't have it levitating. You can make it to where it doesn't levitate. We can get you the patent. Why?
Oh God.
And they also say they have patents for psychic energy blocking technologies.
Oh yeah. They've got patents for blooming intergalactic spaceships.
Mm-hmm. And once again, you have to have a working model in order for it to work, in order to get that patent.
Yeah.
So unless there's some real shady under the table stuff that happens to make those happen, which isn't outside the realm of the possibility.
Well, let's look at the fact here, right? With the guy with the hydrogen cars, it was probably the oil companies that came after him, right?
You know,
The levitation device was probably the government because it would have put helicopters and other things out.
well, partially the levitation devices because we already had craft that operate that,
Mhm.
isn't it? But you also, and ladies and gentlemen, it's not just like some shady scumbags from one-off companies that nobody would ever heard of doing this.
Yeah.
eBay was busted, sending people out to harass people that were trying to sue them. Death
Yeah.
threats, breaking into houses, physically assaulting people.
It's right. It's like people that build free energy devices.
Hmm.
They'll put a video out, they'll start doing it, everything will be fine, and then strangely the video get took down and the channel gets shut down. And you wonder why. And then they'll the police came to my door and they say I'm doing this and that, and they framed me for this and they framed me for that. See, can you imagine what the world would be like if everybody was allowed to create what they wanted?
Worst case scenario, once again, it'd be chaos because there's a lot of people who do not need to have any of this technology in their
Oh, no.
hands. Most of them are government officials.
Here's an interesting thing. Whatever happened to that kid? Now I'm not talking about the kid for Russia that said he was born in Mars. I'm talking about the other kid that drew hieroglyphs all around his room. Remember? And he said he was in contact with an alien race, and then he just disappeared. Never to be
That
seen
was out
again.
of France.
Yes.
That was out
And
of
he
France,
just
if I
disappeared.
remember correctly.
Yeah, he just disappeared, and nobody knows where he went. To this day, nobody's ever know where he is.
Another episode waiting to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should really look into that too to see if any of his stuff matches what I've been drawing.
Well, yeah, I think the
Yeah, I
video
think
is
about it.
online, actually. The video's online. The CIA will be running about the new, right? Delete it. Delete it.
CIA are some shady motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah.
Nearly
Yeah.
every major legitimate conspiracy, drug runs, sex trafficking, child trafficking,
Yeah.
all that, if you do enough digging, bounces back
Yeah.
to the CIA.
See,
Why do you think Kennedy was trying to take him down? Don't shoot me!
I think we need to do a show on the Kennedy assassination because there's more to the Kennedy assassination than people realise. Marilyn Monroe, she knew something, and then mysteriously she was found dead. I think he tell her there was aliens were real, and then she was going to tell the world, and then she was
Both really
found dead.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, all I got to say, there was that love triangle. There are files on Marilyn Monroe because she did that, and the whole paper trail that they were watching her close is publicly available now. But like you said, and like I said last couple times we brought this topic up, Pillow Talk does a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Because think about it, the Kennedy boys, they ain't exactly going to be having blood running to the head on their shoulders.
It's quite interesting because Kennedy actually wrote a speech to talk about extraterrestrials visiting the Earth. And a week before that, was it 2 weeks before it, or was it a week before it, he was assassinated?
Within the week.
Within the week.
Found that. I would have to dig that up, but I was the one that found those speech notes.
So there you go.
And you got to remember, leading up to his assassination, he was also talking about shadow governments.
Yeah.
People ruling the rulers.
Yep.
Now, allegedly, word is to the grapevine that the rulers of the rulers are officially kicked out. And now their underlings, not knowing what to do without the big man around, ordering them around,
Dakota's
giving them
froze.
what they want.
You froze there, Dakota. That's the CIA. Tell it me fiddle with her. Stop it, you damn CIA scum!
Every fucking time
I know.
but basically, like I said, Kennedy was talking about shit, and a lot of the ones that are supposed to be in charge of these darker powers are allegedly kicked out. Now the younger ones are scrambling. They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And
But it was
they're supposed to be handing over the keys to the good guys here very soon.
It was quite interesting what you were saying there. A lot of the world leaders have been dying off.
Very true. There has been a disturbing pattern lately. Now, granted, what was
They're
it,
old.
2016, where all of a sudden the death rate was skyrocketing out of like fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Where it seemed like every other day, someone of high position was all of a sudden passing away. Now, granted, when you
Yeah.
think about it, that would be about the same time baby boomers would start entering their 50s. So it was expected that
Yeah.
some sort of jump in death rates was going to occur around that time.
Yeah.
But with lately, let's see, in the weeks before, watch, I'm going to freeze here as I say this. In the a couple months before the Queen passed away, if I remember correctly, this is just off the top of my head, so don't quote me exactly. At least 15 global leaders have died.
Yes. I know.
Some under
The
unusual
Russian
circumstances.
president, the ex-Russian president, Boris
Mhm.
Yeltsin, he died.
But that,
Hey, Mike the Naked Bigfoot.
but you also got to remember that is Russia, and they're getting ready to turn guns on their own citizens.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen the chaos the new in Iran? Have you seen
We
what's
got
happening in Iran?
We're
Because
going to see a lot more of those.
yeah, they think Iran's about to collapse. Russia is about to collapse because the war's just madness. And I'm actually worried. I think Putin is mad enough, and I'm just going to say his name. He's mad enough to do something, to use tactical nuclear weapons.
Okay, here's the thing. All right. With the situation with Ukraine, there's a point I've been stuck to, and the more that comes out, the more it really is proving my point.
You're freezing. Every time you were talking about that, you started to freeze.
I know, every time, like right on cue. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that in hopes that StreamYard fixes it after everything's been officially published, because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
A lot of speculation when Putin initially initiated the invasion of Ukraine was that something was wrong with Putin.
There's something wrong.
He's been a long supporter of the Soviet Union. He's a high-ranking member of KGB. He was dedicated to pull off, and he's been talking for years about trying to reunite the Soviet Union.
Yes.
Now all of a sudden he pulls off this invasion. Something that was a bucket list push. He had news that his life was about to end.
Yeah.
Now there's reports coming out that he may actually have some form of dementia and some form of blood cancer. That's why he did it.
He's actually meant to have, like, is it severe kidney disease? Is it? I don't know which stage that would be, like stage 4 kidney disease.
Stage 4 is no turning back.
Yeah, because seemingly that's what's out there. Mm-hmm.
Now, and
but, you know,
here's something you also got to think of. Elena Denon, I know I refer to her books, but you got to understand, this woman's been helping me prove that I'm not totally insane. Stretch that is. There is an arc in the Ukraine near Kiev.
It's in the sand desert.
That's supposed to have highly medicinal plants that have been genetically modified by extraterrestrials to be utilized as a gift. There's a known base for a group known as the Intergalactic Confederation. It's a group that travels from galaxy to galaxy to try to help out each galaxy's own galactic federation in their endeavors.
Yeah.
Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They're back, and one of the races has a basis in Russia, and Ukraine. Now,
They've
all of a
always-
sudden, when you think about it, we got these UFO reports. Now, obviously, they're trying to wipe it off as war tensions,
Yeah.
but think about it. If you have a house set up somewhere, you're trying to conduct your own experimentations, knowing that somebody may start kicking down the door one day because they don't like you messing around in their affairs. All of a sudden, you're dropping bombs. Don't you think you're going to be a little tempted to fire back?
Yeah, I think. See, everybody will ask, where is this UFO buried? This ark, and it's buried in the Ukrainian. See this. It's got a name. It's a sand. It's all sand for miles. And it's all it is massive. And it's underneath there, and there's actually ones in Russia where it's just all sand and it's underneath that. Nothing grows, and they're actually
From
all
the
over the
radiation
world.
of the facility.
Yeah,
The radiation
They're
of the
all-
facility. There's one within a couple hours drive from me where if you were to take a Geiger counter, it would go absolutely off the scale if you were to visit one of these regions, and you would notice several electromagnetic phenomena, such as rocks seemingly floating in space.
yeah,
You may even feel physical sickness. There may be burn marks on local wildlife that try to walk through there. Basically, everything that they say Chernobyl's supposed to have right now
yeah.
is what's happening in these regions.
Well, and I would just like to say to everybody in the chat, welcome, Mike, the Naked Bigfoot, and I would just like to say that is a story for another time. That's for
I
you,
don't know.
Mike. You know, but as a story for another time, you know, because we've come up to the end of the hour. You know,
Yeah. The only thing that sucks about trying to keep it somewhat short for the shrinking attention spans of the world is that when you get into
I
these
know.
topics, there's so much here.
I know. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a fantastic week, and everybody in the podcast side. And remember, check out each other's channels, and everybody can grow together. You know, Dakota,
Mhm.
would you like to say anything before we leave? Before we go off?
Well, like Chris and I were saying, this next weekend we are going to take a little bit of time off. You may see
Yeah.
a bit of a Ghost Squad Scotland takeover one of those days, just so we can fill the time. But
Yeah.
we have a lot of interesting topics coming about. We have incredible guests, honestly, ones we never thought would say yes to coming on with us, but hey, we're grateful.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
UFO experimentations coming out, to which anybody who has any sort of psychic inclinations, be careful, because this is supposed to make you go into overload. You may see some stuff coming up because, as I was kind of alluding to before, the old gods are back. So, and they're
Yeah.
waiting for an invite to come right in.
Yeah.
Be sure to check out everybody's channels. We do have Unity TV on the TV network now to help showcase, paranormal investigators. We're offering this completely free. It'll add your videos to the circulation. It runs 24/7. All you need for it is a YouTube channel and your embedding turned on.
Yeah.
To which, Sherry, you may need to go in and update your settings because none of your videos are wanting to work.
Yeah. What's that? Smith Family Paranormal and Thursday with Sherry and I, right? Yep, that's right. Thursday is Sherry doing the show on Thursday with Smith Paranormal?
I guess so.
Guess so.
Unless
Right.
I must have missed a message or two.
Oh, okay. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I would just like to thank everybody that's in the chat tonight, the 46 people on YouTube and the 329 all over the different networks and locations. So thank you everybody for coming to the show tonight, and hopefully next week we'll see you again. Well, not next week, but the week after it, the Monday.
October 3rd, Christina Gomez is coming on. Plus, we're going to have
Yeah.
a special trailer for the documentary that,
Yes.
hopefully, with as many people that jumped on board, we're going to have some serious attention to it. So,
Yes. So take care, guys. Be safe and have a great week. Catch you later.
much love. Stay safe. See you next time.